Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Hello, and welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show. I'm so glad that you've joined me here today. If you're new to the Heal Your Hunger Show, welcome. We're all about emotional eating here, and if you struggle with food and weight and you suspect you might be an emotional eater, you'll probably relate to some of the things we're talking about here. I just want to invite you all also to pick up a copy of my book, Heal Your Hunger, 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now, as well as check out my new course, which is called 7 Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. So that's a course that it really is a companion to the book, and it will walk you through I'll take you by the hand and walk you through the 7 steps and help you integrate them into your life. So you can check that out. There's a link below for that. But I'm just really here today to talk to you about what I think is one of the most important things that are overlooked when it comes to dealing with food and weight. And it's a sneaky little thing, and it's I'd say probably the number one reason why we stumble and fall, why we end up breaking out of our moratorium on sugar or flour or all the different habits that we're trying to abstain from. The reason why we go back to them is probably because of this little thought in our minds. It's a little devil of a thought, a little gremlin up there that just gets us off track. So what this is the desire to be normal, okay? And I find this to be an obsession among emotional eaters. And you may be totally unaware of it, but as I talk, I think it's going to ring true for you. Now, when we're emotional eaters and we're hooked on food and we love food and we think about food and everything's about food for us, and we gain weight and then we're obsessed with our weight and we're trying to get the weight off and we're doing all the kinds of things to try to lose weight, try to shape our bodies the way we want them to be. All this obsession, all this activity around food and weight makes us feel really abnormal, really strange and different. When we're at a restaurant with friends and they can eat a couple bites of dessert and leave it at that, and we may do that, but we're obsessed with that dessert and we go home and we want to eat more of that kind of food, or we order takeout somewhere so we can have more. When we can't just eat one, bite of something or one cookie or one snack or a handful of potato chips. I mean, there are many things about the way we eat that is abnormal, that it's not like everybody else. And what that does to our psyche is it makes us feel really strange or different. And especially with regard to not only the crazy things we do around food, but the crazy things we do to try to control our weight. For myself, there were many times when I would eat, I'd binge, I'd get so full. I wasn't a puker, so I was so full that I could barely move. I'd stop eating. I wouldn't be able to finish everything that I had intended to eat because my stomach was, full. So I'd pass out on the couch, and then later I'd throw it out first, then I'd pass out on the couch, and I'd go back to the garbage and pick it out later when I had more room in my tummy. So I'd essentially eat out of the garbage. And, anybody who's done that knows what a humiliating and demoralizing thing that is. It feels awful. It feels so gross and so shameful. And I did it on numerous occasions. I was so sure I was finished with my food after my binge, but not so. I'd go back and retrieve that food because I had to eat more. If there was more available, if I was aware of food in the house that was available, I would go get it. And a lot of times it was food in the trash. So anyway, the point is that the kinds of things we do when we're trying to control food and weight are so strange and different than your average person that it makes us feel like a pariah. It makes us feel really bad and really different. And so we go around in this world thinking that we're the only ones. We're the only ones who have done these things. We're the only ones who feel this way. We're the only ones who are so gross and so, base and to do the things that we do, when in fact there are jillions of other people. I made a video once on YouTube many years ago called the garbage eating video. You can look it up and find it. And I reenact my ritual of throwing food out and then retrieving it later. But anyway, I got thousands of hits on that video and many, many comments saying, "Oh my God, I've done this," or "Oh my God, you read my mail." And the fact is, so many people are walking around feeling like they're the only ones, that we're so strange and different. And it's a terrible feeling. It's a lonely feeling. And one of my goals with Heal Your Hunger is to just say, open my arms and say, "Hey, I've done it. I've been there. Let me help you out of this terrible condition and toward freedom. Let me walk you on a path to freedom." And so when we feel so abnormal, what happens is we have an obsession to be normal. We have a yearning to be normal because we feel so abnormal. And what that does to us is that when we finally come upon, a way of eating that works for us, we're feeling better about ourselves, we're doing better, we may be losing weight, but we're feeling healthier and happier. And we're doing something, to do that. But what happens is that we have this little gremlin in our mind that says, "Why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just be like her? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to eat in this way? Why do I have to avoid sugar? Why can't I eat, just one bowl of cereal?" And so it starts to work on us, and we get kind of self-pitying about the fact that even though we feel better and happier in this new way of living, we're kind of wishing we didn't have to do what we're doing. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we could just be normal and then we could just eat whatever we want, whenever we want, and wouldn't have to go through these great lengths to get thinner or get happier or get healthier or whatnot. So that little part of our mind that says, "Why can't I be normal?" is our downfall. Because what happens is we obsess about it and we ultimately try it. We ultimately say, "Screw this, I just want to be normal." And I hear it time and time again. So what happens is we try to eat one cookie or one slice of cake or just a bite of our child's ice cream cone. And then we're off to the races. That one bite, that one attempt to be normal, to slough off all this effort and extra, details around what to eat and what not to eat and how to prepare our food and whatever we've been doing that works for us, we throw that off and we say, "I just want to be normal." And I'm just telling you that if you're a compulsive eater, if you're an emotional eater or a food addict or all the above, and I consider them all to be somewhat synonymous, but if you've had trouble with food for a long, long time and you've been searching for a solution for a long, long time, part of your solution needs to be to accept that you're not normal and to throw away that obsession with being normal. And I have to tell you that while that may seem harsh, it is your solution. It is my solution. It's helped me so much to accept that I am an emotional eater and I have this, or a food addict, if you will, and I have this, this thing inside of me, this propensity to gain weight easily and to be addicted easily to certain foods like sugar and grains and flours and things that metabolize as sugar. I'm highly sensitive to sugar, and when I eat a little bit, I want more. I'm highly sensitive to super sweet things. They're my favorite in the whole world. And I still have sweet things. I may sweeten my tea with stevia or my yogurt with stevia. But regarding sugar, the actual ingredient of sugar and what it does in my body is it creates a monster where I have to have more. Sugar has been proven to be as addictive as cocaine or heroin. And so it's definitely an addiction for me, and certain foods are triggering for me. And even though I may think I can handle them, again, trying to be normal, time and time again, I've been proven wrong, and I go to town. And so I've had to come to accept that about myself. And you may be in a place right now where you have not accepted that, where you're still on a quest to be normal. And I just want to say that you will much sooner find a solution and find freedom from emotional eating when you accept that you're not normal. Think of somebody who has diabetes. Let's say somebody has diabetes and they have to take insulin, they have to check their sugar levels. They have to do all kinds of things, carry this contraption with them, their emergency kit, all different kinds of things just to manage their diabetes. Well, imagine if they said, I don't want to have diabetes, I just want to be normal. Imagine a kid, I'm sure, has said that many times to his mom, Mom, I don't want to do all this, I just want to be normal. And guess what? The mother has to say, I get that, and you're not normal. You have this disease called diabetes. And in order to be okay and to almost seem normal, you have to accept that you're not normal, that you have this disease and you need to treat it with all these different steps. And it's the same thing as being an emotional eater, is I had to come to grips with the fact that I'm not normal. I don't eat normally. I never did. I don't metabolize food normally. I have a slow metabolism, so I can't eat like my friends. I can't just overeat and then go exercise it off at the gym and be, at square one. It doesn't work that way for me. If I eat a little bit, I end up eating a lot, and it doesn't just end on one day. It transmutes itself into many days or weeks or months or years. And so it's an addiction for me, and I have to accept that, and then I have to take steps to treat it. And this is what I encourage you to do, is accept that if you've been struggling for a long time, there may be somebody who just had a rough spot, right? They eat pretty normally, and it's not really been an issue until some tragic situation happened in their lives, or some work situation got really stressful, and then they start to overeat or stress eat. Those people may be able to just, turn it off. And I actually have an emotional eating quiz, which will help you determine, where you stand on the emotional eating spectrum. Some people are very low on the spectrum, and so, they can turn it off. Other people have progressed in the spectrum to where they can't just turn it off. And so if you're one of those people who can't just turn it off, when you accept you have this condition and take real steps and actions to overcome it, you're going to be actually seeming more normal than you ever have in your life. For me, people don't consider me to have problems with food. I'm thin, I'm comfortable around food, I'm comfortable around people, I go out. I just have a very normal looking life on the outside. Now, there's a lot of things I do that probably aren't normal. I meditate twice a day, and I walk and I pray and I read spiritual literature. So I have a lot of practices that aren't really what your average Joe is doing. But the fact is that out and about in life, people don't look at me and think that I'm somehow strange or different than them. But the fact is, that's only because I accepted that I am strange or different than them. But the neat thing is that when you have a community of emotional eaters around you, such as the Heal Your Hunger community, when you are part of that community, then you realize you're not alone in the way you eat and the way you respond to food. Other people have done exactly what you've done. Other people have eaten out of the garbage. Other people have stolen food. Other people have lied about what they've eaten, and so on and so forth. When you're around these people, you're with your kind, and then you can be comfortable in knowing that you're not the only one. And then you can also be comfortable in realizing it's okay. It's okay to accept that you're an emotional eater. It's okay to accept that you're not normal. And then you can take actions and important steps to overcome the problem. But, for me, I don't believe there's a cure to emotional eating. I am an emotional eater, but I'm not emotional eating today by the grace of God. And the reason why is because I've accepted down to my toes that I have this condition, and I'm treating it on a daily basis with these spiritual practices, with helping others with emotional eating, with getting spiritual help and help from my own mentor to overcome these things, and help from this community. I mean, the community, the Heal Your Hunger community, helps me as well. It feeds me as well, because there's nothing I love more than to be around other emotional eaters so I don't feel so abnormal. I mean, we have to find our kind in order to, sort of let loose that idea that we're the only ones in the world, that sense of isolation, that sense of being a pariah in this world. So, I hope that you will consider what I'm sharing here as really useful, because I'd love to see you stop resisting what it is you have, that stop resisting that you're an emotional eater, stop resisting that you can do this on your own, and reach out for help, and also reach out for community with other emotional eaters, so that you can realize you're not alone, you're not the only one, but also realize that being, not normal, which, by the way, what is normal? There really isn't a real normal. I just mean we don't eat the way other people eat. When we recognize that and we accept help for that, we can feel more normal. We can feel more like, hey, it's all right. I'm not normal, but I have a new normal, and the new normal is accepting that I'm an emotional eater, and I need to do something about it, taking my medicine, taking the treatment, and then living as free as possible with this condition, living with a solution, not a cure, but a solution, so that I can be out and about in the world and seem normal. But please stop trying to be like those people out there who aren't emotional eaters. Stop trying to eat like them. Stop, scrutinizing them and saying, how do they do that? Like, how do they eat 2 bites and put it down? How do they leave those French fries on their plate? I would sit there and be in awe of my friends who could leave French fries on their plate. Why would anybody do that? Pass me those fries and let me eat them. So, embrace what you are, embrace what you have, and then seek a solution, because when you do that, you can actually show up in the world and in a whole new way, where you're not obsessed with being normal, you're not obsessed with being so abnormal. As you're comfortable in your skin, you're comfortable with who you are, you can walk proud and just be grateful that you have a solution. And I really want that for you, because it's delicious. Thanks so much. I hope you comment on the Heal Your Hunger page. Please check it out. And please shoot me an email at any time. And really, it's time for a new normal. Take care.
If you enjoyed this show and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.